Hi, it's Louise Tanner-Stokes from the Anti-Dieting Revolution, and in this week's blog I wanted to talk about how enjoying your food can reduce binge eating. So over the years I have worked with so many people who struggle with binge eating, um, and they're often like this one client that I always remember. Let's call her Lauren. That's not actually her real name, but for now we'll just call her Lauren. So lots of the people I've worked with were like Lauren. So we'd worked together for quite a while before Lauren actually made a confession to me. So just before she started working with me, she'd bought a box of chocolates as a Christmas present for a friend. And one day she'd had a bad day and she just went and got the box of chocolates and just ate the entire box all in one go. Hid the box in the bin from her family because she was so ashamed. She was so embarrassed that she'd just eaten all these chocolates, and she felt really guilty and just rubbish about it. But after we'd been working together for a while, so she never told me that she did this quite often in the early days when we first started working together. But after we'd been working together for a little while, she could see why the binge eating was a problem, because she was always trying to eat perfectly. She was always banning the chocolate, telling herself she wasn't allowed to eat those kind of things. She would label food as good or bad. So then she'd either feel good about eating a certain way or she'd feel bad. And then she'd be labeling herself as good or bad depending on what she ate. And then she'd be punishing herself. And I see this over and over again with clients. That people come to me with these kind of attitudes around food, and it doesn't help you. Okay, it leads to more binge eating, more secret eating, more eating that makes you feel ashamed, and makes you feel embarrassed, makes you feel guilty and rubbish. Okay, and the reason that Lauren told me about this was because, like I said, we've been working together for a little while, and although she hadn't told me about any of this, a lot of the things I was teaching Lauren had actually helped her to reduce the binge eating. And it was all about eating more mindfully and actually really enjoying her food again. So I wanted to share with you 3 things to have a think about to help you to eat more mindfully, to enjoy your food more, that will then help you to reduce this kind of secret binge eating. Okay. So the first thing to think about then is to ditch all the judgmental labels about food and about yourself. Okay. Forget looking at food as good or bad. Nutrition isn't as simple as that anyway. Healthy eating is about the overall balance of everything that you eat. It's not about the individual foods. And you really don't need to be exhausting yourself trying to eat perfectly, trying to eat clean. None of that's necessary. It's all about what you do most of the time. Okay. And one day where you do eat the entire box of chocolates isn't going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things. But if you're telling yourself that you're rubbish, that you can't do it, that you've failed, that you're a failure and you're a bad person, you're more likely to go on and eat more of the chocolates. Okay, you're more likely to keep getting stuck in this kind of guilt binge cycle. Whereas if you say to yourself, that's fine, draw a line, move forward, it's less likely to be a problem for you. Okay, so ditch those labels. And number 2 is to give yourself permission to eat anything. And I 100% mean that. You're allowed to eat anything and everything. Okay, and stop banning the foods, because that doesn't help you. So if you're used to kind of dieting and banning foods and saying you're not allowed to eat certain things, to start with, you're probably going to overdo it. Okay, you're probably going to go completely overboard. But eventually, if you keep saying to yourself, this is okay, I'm allowed to eat whatever I like, eventually you'll see that you can have a little of what you fancy. Okay, and if you take your time over the food that you used to binge on, take your time to savor the flavors, the smells, the textures, and really just notice what you're eating. Ignore the voice that's saying to you, you shouldn't be eating this, because the minute that you ban it, you want it more, don't you? Okay, it becomes naughty, and then, you know, it becomes that kind of that thing where you want it because it's naughty, and then you feel guilty when you have it, because you tell yourself that you've blown it, you feel guilty, and you get stuck in this overeating guilt binge cycle, and that's just miserable. Okay, so ditch all the guilt by just letting yourself have it and really enjoy it, really take your time over it. Okay, and then the third thing I want you to have a think about is to focus on nourishing your body with balanced meals that you enjoy. You really don't need to be forcing yourself to eat food that you hate, okay? You don't need to be looking for like the lowest calorie option, you know, cardboard food that doesn't have any nutrients in it. Eat meals that you enjoy, you know? You don't have to cook special recipes, you don't have to cook special meals or buy special products. Just go for the meals that you enjoy, things that you normally have, cook your favourite recipes. But you know, if you know that they're maybe not as healthy as they could be, just tweak them a little bit. Make sure that you're getting a variety of different foods from the different food groups, then it's more likely to be more nourishing. And if you're nourishing your body, giving your body a range of different nutrients, you're more likely to feel satisfied, so then you're less likely to have cravings, which then leads to binge eating, and you're less likely to have all the picking and snacking. And if you feel satisfied and you're not having any of that craving, binge eating, you're less likely to feel guilty about food. So, you know, focus on nourishing your body and being kind to your body and looking at how can I look after my body. You know, make food tasty and enjoyable and colourful so that you feel good when you eat it, you know, rather than eating something that's just bland and not very nourishing and not hasn't got many calories in it, so then you end up still feeling peckish and then you're sniffing around, searching around for more food. Okay, so 3 things I want you to have a think about. Ditch the judgmental labels about food and about yourself. Okay, give yourself permission to eat anything and enjoy it. You know, really take your time to enjoy all the flavours and everything. And then the third thing is to nourish your body with balanced meals that you enjoy. Okay, and if you're not sure about how to put together balanced meals, make it easy for yourself with my my super simple free guide to how you can make healthy eating easy by focusing on balanced meals. I'll put the link below, or you can find it in the main blog. Give me a shout if you've got any questions. But it's time to ditch dieting forever because you deserve better. Take care and I'll see you soon.